What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to After War. Today, I am reviewing Transformers Rise of the Beast. It's coming up right now. If you're new to the channel at all, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys like the movie? Do you not? What do you see moving forward? This is the seventh movie in the Transformers live action franchise. It's also a sequel to 2018's Bumblebee and a prequel to 2007's original live action movie Transformers. So I'm going to be honest and straight up with this review beforehand. First of all, obviously it's going to be spoiler heavy. I'm not going to spoil absolutely everything in the movie. I'll try and make it as short as possible. And as well, just to make you guys aware, another spoiler, that I do really like the Transformers franchise. I know they are not the best movies in the world, but they are genuine summer blockbuster movies. Something, inherently cool about a car transforming into a giant robot with awesome weapons. That I will never not be amazed by that. I'm gonna be honest. I thought this movie was really fun overall. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. The human characters I thought were okay. Obviously, some issues there. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not particularly a big fan of Anthony Ramos. I've seen In the Heights and Hamilton, and I don't really like his acting style, to be perfectly honest with you. But in this movie, I think this was his best work that I've seen him in. He was really likable and charming. And, I haven't seen Dominique Fishback before, but I thought she was okay. Clearly not the best actress in the world, but she was serviceable, and for what she was, an intern with kind of extra knowledge and all the other characters. Okay, sure. Like, these are standard cheesy stereotypical action movie summer blockbuster kind of tropes, but I come to expect these. As long as they're not absolutely terrible, then I don't really mind them. They are okay. They are leading onto the action stuff. And yeah, do they have funny lines, and do they say the most cheesy cringe things that you've ever heard in your life? Yes. But I've heard it worse in other movies before. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit biased. There you go. So when I come to watch a Transformers movie, I want my mind to be blown. Summer blockbuster, just eating popcorn, enjoying the spectacle on show, and that's what I got. I want to see the spectacle of a car transforming into a giant alien robot. And one of my favorite scenes was the opening car kind of chase where Noah Anthony Ramos' character meets Mirage, and the way the kind of Porsche transforms around Noah's character, it's amazing. To be honest with you, the creativity around it, I'll always be completely amazed by the effects. I mean, the sense of, like I said, wonder and creativity and imagination and work that goes into these movies, I'll always sit there and be impressed. Far from perfect, far from the best Transformers movie, but it's memorable and fun, and that's what I'm there for, and that's what I expect from it. And I didn't feel like there was a massive build up or hype for this movie in particular. My excitement level going in wasn't too much. Obviously, I've loved the Beast Wars series, so I was kind of just hoping to get more than just a couple of minutes of these Maximals, and I got loads. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I had a good time, and you know what? To be honest, I'm going to watch it again at some point. So yeah, I'll just go through some of the positives and negatives along with the plot as well. Transformers: Rise of the Beast is directed by Stephen Cable Jr. and starring Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback. Set in the 19s, specifically 1994, as the Autobots meet a different group of Transformers, the Maximals, and they are warning the Autobots of the impending war coming on Earth via the Terracrons. And the movie starts really strong. The homeworld of the Maximals, which is obviously an advanced race of Cybertronians with beast modes. And obviously, the movie has a big influence from the series Beast Modes as well, which was also a Transformer series, which it was one of my favorite series growing up as a kid. Saturday morning, I absolutely loved them. So seeing the trailers of these Maximals, bringing in the Beast Mode storylines, I am the target audience for this. People like me, they're pulling at my nostalgia strings. And the Maximal's homeworld is coming under attack by the planet-eating Unicron. He heralds the Terracons and an army of Predacon Scorpions, led by Scourge, as they seek to obtain the Maximal's greatest weapon, or piece of technology, which is a transwarp key, which can open portals through space and time, of course. And the Maximals leader is Ape Link, who sacrifices himself at like I said, the opening kind of sequence, allows the other Maximals to escape, and Unicron, the planet destroyer, obviously destroys the planet. Now, under the command of Optimus Primal, the Maximals use the key to flee to Earth. And again, another really strong opening, like in Bumblebee. The kind of otherworldly opening war is very obviously Terminator-esque. And yeah, it kind of from the jump, it lets you know the scale of the movie and to see, the full effects and the creativity being shown and the sense of wonder that's attached to all that. So I really like the opening, how they handled the humans for the most part. So particularly with Noah's character, kind of a former soldier, and him trying to pay bills for his little brother and mother, totally fine. Like I said, he definitely has charm and he is likable. His kind of real life problems that he has with all that, although obviously it is hard to believe that these kind of everyday problems are somehow parallel or kind of go in conjunction with kind of world saving issues as well. But I genuinely think that you don't need humans in Transformers movies. I genuinely believe that. And I thought that after watching the first movie in 2007, although I do really like Shia LaBeouf's, with Wiki character, but I generally feel that you don't. But obviously they feel, it's a safe bet to do so. So I understand. Yeah, he was okay. I was expecting a lot worse. Like I said, I didn't really like the actor too much, to be honest. So what I'd got was okay. It was he definitely got a few laughs from me and he's a bit charming. Particularly like his kind of one-on-one dialogue with like the interview at the end and him just trying to get uh jobs and things like that. The brother stuff was a little bit cringe at times, but I know that going in, and I know that this actor in particular has a lot of cheesy cringe dialogue. Like he tends to pick them roles, so I know I'm expecting that. Obviously in the Heights and obviously in Hamilton, he consistently does this, so I know that. And this was the kind of least cringe, even though it was definitely cringy, the least cringe I've seen this actor before. So, and obviously this is early days, set in 1994. Optimus Prime doesn't trust or really particularly like humans at all. Interesting conflict and viewpoint between Optimus and Noah, where Optimus does not want to involve the human or have them help at all. And when kind of Mirage kind of convinces him that Noah can be of assistance, Noah's different opinion was obviously, I'm going to destroy the key because he doesn't want this war kind of on Earth. He wants to save his family. Two different, completely opposite ends of the spectrum plans. So I just thought that was pretty interesting and different. And the ape link that, the kind of daggers he has on his hands was awesome. I wish he put up a better fight so I could see that kind of more. But I really like the look of the Maximals, and they were in it more than I thought they would be. And I got the sense of like the warrior-like portrayal of them, and they're kind of ancient warriors, and they're from a different kind of era or different civilization than the Autobots. And obviously they were in it, like I said, more than I thought, but I kind of wish they were in it more, to be honest. Like I wanted to see more of them. Obviously I'll come to the negative stuff, but definitely didn't get enough of Cheetah and Rhinox. I really, really like them characters from Beast Wars. Didn't get anywhere near enough of them. And I did like the soundtrack. Obviously, it's a little too on the nose with like the 90s classic hits with obviously Biggie and TLC, and we've got Tupac, and just the references in general, whether it's Tupac, Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Super Mario, is like on the note. Like, yeah, okay, we get it. It's in the 90s. All right, relax. So that was a little too much. They could have had different things in there to make it a bit more subtle. The third act with the giant battle on obviously with getting the humans involved, very literally reminded me of Justice League, particularly the kind of ancient war that happened on Earth with Darkseid against Zeus and the Green Lanterns and all this. It kind of reminded me of that setting. Even the whole Scourge character and how kind of he was almost slave to his master Unicron, very Steppenwolf and Darkseid-esque, the way he kind of kneel down and summon him and fighting obviously the other Autobots, and obviously Optimus Prime was the kind of the Superman to kind of take Steppenwolf down. Throughout the movie, I got Zack Snyder Justice League vibes. So I don't know if they had a big influence on it. I mean, it really felt like it. Having a big epic battle at the end where you're saving the Earth, and there's sci-fi involved, and you're saving your home planet, and there's a world-eating kind of transformer there. I mean, that's something thrilling about that. The blockbuster hairs on my neck were standing up, and I was smiling the whole way through, and there was jokes along the way. I thoroughly enjoyed the third act. I definitely Cannot wait to watch that again. I was hyped. I was excited. It was a giant battle. There was death. I loved it. I loved it. I really did. Big standout was the villain score. Absolutely fantastic. Looked great. Sounded great. Definitely intimidating. One of the best on-screen villains in the Transformers series so far. Menacing. Takes part of the Transformers and adds it onto his own armor, whether it's the Maximals or Bumblebee. Love that. Love that. So clever. Very warrior-like. As a henchman as well. So even though this big, massive, huge character could destroy everyone with ease, he was still the henchman. And I love that. I was constantly thinking in the back of my mind and how kind of easy he was. Unicron was kind of hurting Scourge, and how badass is he going to be? And how is kind of Optimus and the rest of the guys going to take him on? Hi everyone, just a quick lighting change. Sorry about that. Now I'll go through to the negatives. Like I said, I do give this movie a lot of passes, but still, nevertheless, a lot of things bothered me. Mirage was one of them. I will admit, voiced well by Pete Davidson, and a lot did work. There was a lot I liked. He was the funniest character and had the best joke, but it was also a little too much. Like, his character didn't really fit with the rest of the Autobots. He was almost like a human personality with this kind of world-destroying, threat looming, and they were all on board. Obviously Bumblebee and Optimus Prime and all the rest of the Autobots, and I just didn't get the. And Mirage was on a completely different vibe, trying to have banter and vibe with Noah, and I just felt it's a little too much, I guess. Similar to, or trying to mimic, obviously, Bumblebee and Wiki's relationship, although it was nowhere near as charming. Like the car, he was trying to steal the car to help pay for his brother's hospital thing. It's just not as smart, and it's not as funny, and is less relatable, I'd say. So yeah, they didn't get a pass on that one. And they did give Noah a backstory. Okay, he used to be in the army, and he's trying to get the bills paid for his brother and mom. Boom, done. Trying to survive. That was enough for me. I didn't have to know all the mom's problems and his job problems and the brother's health problems. That was all a little too cheesy for me, and some of the dialogue around it was a bit rough as well. Although I did like some of the home team stuff. Yeah, that's always I always think of Rocky V when I hear home team. So I do love that. They did get me with that a little bit. Alongside that, it was very formulaic with standard action movie tropes, lines, dialogue, and predictable events. In fact, this whole plot, where they're getting a key to save Earth because some alien beings want to destroy. This has been done, or a variation of this plot has been done in pretty much every Transformers movie. So although it is a negative, like I said, extremely predictable, and basically they'll have a fight at the end, and then Optimus Prime will destroy them all, basically. But because I was expecting it, I wasn't disappointed. I knew that going. I could literally guess this plot, apart from just the names of the things and locations and where they would be. Like, obviously, it was nice going to Peru in this, like it is. Like, I actually like in Revenge of the Fallen where they go to Petra and Jordan and go to Egypt and Earth's previous kind of dynasties and civilizations. I actually like that stuff. I know it's really a bit cringe and everything, but and obviously Noah getting the gear from Mirage as he sacrificed himself. Before that, obviously, when he got the hand equipment, I thought that was cool. I was like, oh yeah, so like they're literally contributing more now. They can fire, a few weapons and stuff like that. And also, what surprised me is how many people would die in this movie. Like, there was the police and security guys that were chasing Noah for stealing the car. A lot of them were killed off. Mirage would shoot something at them or make them drive into like a barrier, and I was like, oh damn, they're dead. Like, a lot of these innocent people were dying, and I was kind of like, sure. And then they wouldn't kind of acknowledge it or react to it, and no one thought anything of it. And I definitely miss the Michael Bay flair and cinematography and style. Just adds to the dramaticness and the cheesiness, really, in a kind of action movie, and the epic design of it, because obviously we're talking about Earth destroying aliens. So to make a kind of fancy and stylized, I quite like that. Because at this point, it's now an iconic look. It's connected with an expected like color palette. It was a lot cleaner in terms of the effects and what you could see in terms of that. There wasn't many moments where I thought, oh, I can't make out who that is or who's firing or who is or who isn't. It was all pretty clear, but I do miss the ultra stylized and color palette that Michael Bay uses. From the Maximals as well, I was a bit gutted, like I said, that Cheetah and Rhinox were not used enough. And Michelle Yeoh's character, Erazor, storyline was a little too convenient. But I did like kind of when she was shot, infection took over her, and the kind of design of it and the effects and how that looked. That was really cool. But I just felt like I was taken out of the movie with her, particularly hearing her voice. Like I knew it instantly it was her. So yeah, I didn't really like her character, but all the other Maximals were fine. Hoping for a little bit more. I didn't get massive amounts of them. Like they were in it, screen time wise, yes, but in terms of kind of a like for like or how they are in the series, hope that they get their own spin-off or their own kind of origin story. Having said that, to be honest, if you're not a Transformers fan, this movie is not going to win you over. I did like it, and I put it kind of in the middle of my Transformers ranking. I don't actually have one really. I might need to rewatch them all, but I put it solidly in the middle. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was smiling throughout. I thought it was funny. The action was fantastic. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's what you want. That's what I expect from a Transformers movie. So I got exactly what I wanted. They kind of gave a new gear to the humans. Anthony Ramos did much better than I thought he would. Kind of like the humans. Sure, the story beats are similar, but they had their own flair, their own charm. I mean, it was a different enough story where I didn't mind that. Yes, it wasn't as stylized as some of the Michael Bay movies, but the action was so on point. I did enjoy the whole sci-fi taking over worlds, kind of end of Earth fighting element of it. And I just want to see Transformer fight, and that's what I got. Call it basic, but it is what it. Couple of jump scares as well, surprisingly. Jurassic Park esque. It reminded me of being a kid on a Saturday morning and watching Transformers, watching cartoon Transformers or the Transformers movie, and just being absolutely in love with it and smiling ear to ear and cannot wait to see Optimus Prime defeat whoever. And that's exactly what I got, and I loved it. And it's typical right tone summer blockbuster fun. I got exactly what I needed. Didn't need anything more or less. And for me, it's a very good Transformers movie. But before I end, I have to touch on the actual ending. It did get me a little bit by surprise. He's having a standard interview. I'm thinking, oh, okay, good, man. Now Noah's got a job and he's going to start earning for his family. He finds out that during the interview, the interviewer more information that they're letting on, that he knows about him and the Autobots, and he knows about his brother, and all the bills are going to be paid for. I thought it's an inkling or an indication that it will be Sector 7. From the earlier movies, John Turturro's character heads them, the secret agency, and of course he hands over the business card which says GI Joe. Like I kind of like gasp a little bit, like whoa, where did that come from? But obviously Hasbro, we did see the Hasbro logo at the start of the movie, and obviously Hasbro owned GI Joe, and I've never really, if I'm being perfectly honest, even though I was shocked and excited for that to happen, I've never really been a GI Joe fan. It was a little before my time. Never watched the animated show. Haven't seen any of the GI Joe movies, and I'd never watched Snake Eyes as well. And because I understand that these movies were based on a kind of a single soldier, but obviously the GI Joe series or animated show was based on an army of like super soldiers, task force thing. The early Transformers Michael Bay movies, army or they had a special task force team which was involved in every single movie. So I think a GI Joe squad working with Transformers will go hand in hand. So I think they can slide right in, and obviously Hasbro own a lot of toys or kind of new characters moving into the Transformers series and vice versa. For me, that's exciting, even without being a big G.I. Joe fan or knowing too much of that lore. But what do you guys think? Do you guys like the ending? What do you guys think of this movie? Where do you rank it in your Transformers ranking? And are you excited for what's to come? Thanks for watching, and catch us on the next video.